In this episode, Golden and I discuss Muppets Haunted Mansion. Full speed ahead.
The Omega Beam. Full power. The Omega Beam.
Welcome to the Omega Beam number 145. I'm your host, Orrin Merton. So in the United States, Halloween is coming up next Sunday, and that means spooky fun for the whole family, which is exactly what Disney's Muppets Haunted Mansion set out to be. It's a 52-minute special, so we don't have a ton to say, but we wanted to give you our opinions before Halloween, so let's go! I am here with Golden to talk about the Muppets Haunted Mansion special. So, as a huge Disney fan and a Muppets fan, how did you like it?
Well, a big Haunted Mansion fan.
A big Haunted Mansion fan as well, yeah.
I think I don't want to say I had high expectations. I had expectations of it being a little bit more enjoyable than it was.
A little bit more enjoyable than it was. So I get that. I love the Muppets. I watched the original Muppet Show back in the 70s when I was a child. I saw a few of the Muppet movies, and some were very good. We both enjoyed Disneyland, and the Haunted Mansion is arguably my favorite ride. So I knew that this special would be the Muppets, would involve both, the Muppets and the Haunted Mansion. I didn't necessarily expect it to be...
Through the ride?
Right, to be a complete walkthrough of the ride.
It was cute that they had the, ghost host costumes for the cast members would wear.
Yeah.
Or a variation of them. I thought that was kind of cute. I like how they did the stretching portraits variation. Mm-hmm. I like that Gonzo was fearless, and I'd like to just kind of think of Gonzo as fearless.
Yeah, I thought that some of the jokes landed. It had sort of the traditional Muppet quips in it. I appreciated that. I appreciated that it had kind of the traditional Muppet guest stars. Yes. Will Arnett was the host, and I think he did a fine job as host. I'd say that it was pretty low-key in the sense that it wasn't...
I think I expected more energy.
That's what I mean by low-key. That did seem very staid.
And I mean, I love our, grumpy old men in a doom buggy.
Right.
Throwing out their quips. Thought that was cute. Overall, I think the target audience is probably a lot younger than us, and
right.
For that target audience, it's probably going to land. I, at one point, had to back it up because a couple of the ghosts turned to one of the other ones and say, "Oh, you can't say that. This is a family show." And I thought, oh, I missed something. But it was a bird talking, and since none of us speak bird, none of us understood what the bird said anyway.
Right. Yeah, putting a spoiler warning on this episode is a little bit amusing because it's really like we'd said, it's a walkthrough of the ride. So if you're familiar with the ride, then you're familiar with the story.
Yeah, you've got basically the characters from the traditional Haunted Mansion ride. You have the things that you love. You have the portraits in the hallway. You even have the bats that are at the top of the stanchions, the rope. For the ropes, you have the eyes that follow you. You have the floating candelabra. You have the ballroom scene. You have the portrait and the guys drawing against each other. I mean, it's a lot of the same thing. You have your graveyard and those singing in the graveyard. Even a dog. Although, I don't think this one's as skinny as the one in the ride.
That's true. So, hey, for those of you who don't live near a Disneyland, if you're curious what the Haunted Mansion ride is like...
It's still not what the Haunted Mansion ride is like. It just happens to follow a path or trajectory that is very, very similar.
I think that the new sort of Muppet actor/technicians all do admirable jobs.
Definitely had an issue with some of the singing.
Well,
in that the Muppets singing seemed a lot more realistic than the people singing because of the lip syncing.
Yeah, that's kind of funny in that when you're dealing with a puppet, all that has to happen for it to look right is the mouth needs to open and close on cue. Because there's no teeth, it's not going to do the lip motions of words, etc. But then when the lip syncing is off on a human, you can really tell because they're not saying the words.
And I wonder why they didn't just have people sing.
Maybe they did. I don't know. It could have been a post-production thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but in other Muppets things, I believe that people sang with the Muppets.
You know, I couldn't tell you. Maybe it was
it's been a while.
Maybe it was just a production issue.
It has been a while.
Yeah. So anyway, there's not a ton more to say about this. As a Halloween thing, if you have a family and you want to sit down and watch something that is absolutely good for,
an hour.
Yeah, for young kids and isn't going to be overly frightening, although there's, ghosts and this and that and some jump scares.
I don't think there's anything overly frightening.
Yeah, I don't think there's any of the jump scares that are going to affect a child. It's more humor and sort of, ghouly Halloween fun type humor. If you're an adult and you love Disneyland and you love the ride and you love the Muppets, and you're wondering if this is going to be entertaining, if you want something sort of low-key and low energy, then you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, some of the music carries over. They use a little bit of the Haunted Mansion music, which is kind of fun. But otherwise, they have their own little songs in there, and they kind of carry on like the bride and her husband's dying. It's still a fun hour. I'm glad that it was only an hour.
Yeah, 52 minutes.
I think 52 minutes was a good amount of time for the story.
Yeah, it couldn't have been much longer. Maybe a tiny bit shorter, but it couldn't have been much longer, that's for sure. Well, thank you, Golden.
You are welcome.
And that's it for this episode. You can find the show notes at theomegabeam.com/145. If you like this episode, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Your reviews help people who like this stuff find our podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop us a line at info@theomegabeam.com. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.
The Omega Beam. Full stop.